is Michael Poole. I'm a co-founder of Freedom Drums, and today we're going to learn how to tune our rope tune djembe using the Mali weave over tuning method. To get started, let's talk a little bit about tuning, about what the djembe is supposed to sound like. I'm of the opinion that your djembe is supposed to sound however you want it to sound. In other words, there's no right or wrong way for it to sound. As long as you're happy with the sound, that's all that matters. However, let's look at some differences in sound so we can kind of identify what sound it is that we like to begin with. The way that we're going to do that is we're going to look at this drum, which is very, very much in tune. You can hear great slap tones, very, very nice sharp rim tones, very smooth bass. Great sounding drum. This drum, which is also a Freedom Professional Series djembe, this one's called the Triangular Braid. This is equally as good of a drum. However, when you listen to the sound of it, man, it's really flat. Not much definition between the rim tone and the bass tone. No slap tone at all. I mean, that's just awful. So we're going to talk about now what we can do in a situation where a drum sounds that way to bring out the sound and the beauty in the drum. To get started, let's take a look at the drum up here on the rack. This is an XXL Classic Breeze Professional Series djembe for Freedom Drums. Beautiful wood grain, just amazing drum. Orange specks on the rope, just beautiful. How we're going to tune this drum, we're going to take the handle, which is generally down here at the neck of the drum. Sometimes you have maybe like a shoulder strap that hangs from up here. But that's going to be our extra tuning rope. And we're going to have to unravel that in order to tune the djembe. So, you might need a pair of pliers for this. That's really the only tool you'll probably need. Beyond that, the tuning is really simple. So I'm going to use my pliers, and I'm just going to kind of, pull that loose until I can get it by hand. Undo the knot. And once I can kind of get it loose from here, I'm just going to kind of gently untwist the handle and kind of try to take the twists out of it as I go, as I pull the slack out. Kind of step back away from it, off screen there. I'm just going to do this over and over until it comes loose here. And I'll just keep kind of using my hand to pull that slack out. One more time. Okay. Now then. Alright, so we're all anchored off here at the bottom. The handle's undone. I've got all this extra tuning rope here, and we're ready to go. Alright, so the handle's undone, and we're all ready to go here. I want to talk about a few concepts real quick before we get started. Number one, you don't need a table like this in order to tune the drum this way. The reason I'm doing it on the table is so that I can make a really clear demonstration for you, so that the drum's standing up and you can really see what's going on. Normally you can hold it in your lap if you need to. You can put it on the ground and put your feet against it. There's a lot of different ways that you can hold it while you're tuning the drum. It's not that difficult. And actually the way I learned to tune was just by holding a drum in my lap. So don't let that deter you in any way. So to get started, what we need to understand about rope tuning a drum is that the rings up here, the skin is wrapped around rings, and the top ring, which has the rope attached to it, is pulling those rings down and pulling the skin tight across the bearing edge of the drum up here. And the tighter the tension in these ropes get, which this is all one big piece of rope, the tighter the tension in that rope gets, the tighter the skin is pulled across the edge, the sharper the sound of the drum. We don't want to go too far because then we might risk rupturing the skin or something like that. We want to get to just that right sound. I generally like to think of it, when I can't push these ropes together easily, I'm getting close. But usually my ear tells me a long time before that when the drum's ready. So to take a look at it, again, this is called the Mali weave over method. There are two methods to do it. This is the method we use. This is the easiest method. I think it's the method that most people will find the most usable, so this is the way we do it. I want to talk real quick about this knot up here, but you see this knot right here? We don't ever want to untie this knot. This knot is what keeps everything in place on the entire drum. All of that tension and everything has been brought down and tied into this knot. And this is where the two ends of the same rope meet, so to speak. And we don't want to ever untie that for that reason. It's a very important knot. So you can see when you get your drum from us, usually there's already going to be 1 or 2 knots in it. We already kind of like to tune them up a little bit. We want them to sound good when they're in the store or wherever it is that we're sending them. If it's you know, to one of our online clients, wherever it is, we want them to sound good. So we you know, we'll rope pull them or we'll tune them a little bit in advance. In this case, you can see we've got 1 knot already ready to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to learn how to identify our pairs of laterals. We're going to work with these in pairs. How I'm going to determine a pair is I'm going to look at the ropes that loop together down here at the bottom. So you can see this rope goes down and it loops through here and it comes back up. So those are going to be my pair on the first row. So on the first row of tuning, if they loop together at the bottom, they're going to be a pair. On the second row of tuning, if they loop together at the top, then they're going to be a pair, but we'll talk about that some other time because that's getting ahead of ourselves. So what we're going to do, we're going to take our pair. We're going to go under both of the ropes in the pair, just like that. I find it's easier to do it up here at the top because there's some space. That way you're not scratching the drum. That way you're not, you know, creating all this pressure down here on the finish. So I'm going to pull on my slack through up there at the top. I'm going to turn that straight for you. And I'm going to pull it down nice and tight, like that. You can kind of hear it popping. That's just the skin adjusting. That's normal. Okay, so my objective here is going to be to keep a level line going all the way around the drum as I go. It just helps when the diamond patterns start to form later on the next rows up. It makes it look prettier. It makes it look nicer. And you know, if you're into that kind of thing, you know, you might want to pay attention to that. You may not care. In that case, just go up and down, go wherever, and don't worry about it. So what we're going to do, as you can see, I've gone under the 2 ropes in the pair, and I've pulled it tight and made that line that I was talking about. Now we're going to do the slightly tricky part. It's not really tricky, but you just have to get an eye for it really quick. I've come under both ropes. Now I'm going to go back under the first rope of the pair, which is this rope, in the opposite direction. So, like that. And again, I'm going to pull all my slack out. This is really simple. We're pretty much done now. I mean, this is pretty much it. I'm going to pull it down to here like that. So you can see it goes under, and it wraps around that rope. It goes under the first rope in the opposite direction. And I end up here. Now I'm going to wrap the rope around my hand because it makes it easier to get a grip on it. I'm going to put some pressure up here just to kind of hold the drum in place. I'm just going to pull down and to the right. And it's going to pull those ropes across each other. Just like that, nice and tight. I'm just going to repeat this process over and over again until the drum achieves the sound that I'm looking for. So you can see, let's do it again. I'm going to go under both ropes in the pair. I identified my pair because it loops at the bottom. So I go under them. I'm going to pull it down tight, nice and straight. And there we go. And you know, it may look like it takes some strength, but really, once you get used to doing this, it's easy. I mean, it's not something you have to do every day. I mean, you know, the drum tends to stay in tune pretty well, but your hands will get used to it just from doing it a few times, and it won't be such a big deal to you anymore. So you just got to kind of stick with it, and don't let it get you down. So again, I've gone under the 2 ropes and I've pulled it down tight. Now I'm going to go back under the first rope in the opposite direction, just like that. And again, up the top, I'm staying up the top so that I have plenty of space. Now I'm going to pull it down to here. And now, wrap the rope around my hand, brace it at the top, and pull them across each other. And this particular drum is popping every time I do that, and that just shows you that the skin's really starting to get tight. This drum wasn't in super bad need of a tune, but I wanted to use it because it's a big, you know, clean surface. It's a beautiful finish, good contrast. You should be able to see really well what I'm doing here. So let's see, one more time. Again, I'm going to go under the 2. Pulling all my slack through at the top. And I'm just going to pull it down tight and straight like that. No big deal. Now then, I'm going to go back under the first rope in the opposite direction. I'm just going to pull down and to the right and pull them across. Just like that. And you can hear the sounds already starting to come up on the drum a little bit. Okay, So for time's purpose, let's say that we've got the drum where we want it now. It's in tune and we're ready to tie it off so that we can go out and play and jam and do all that kind of stuff. What I like to do, I like to go ahead and set up my next knot. Just like that way, so it's there, it's ready to go. When we're shipping them out to clients in the store, it's so that when people get ready to tune their drums, that's already set up, that last knot's there, they kind of have a little pattern they can copy to tune their drum. I feel like the biggest thing inhibiting people from playing the rope tune djembes is that they worry about this tuning process, and as you can see, it's really, really easy. So there's nothing to worry about, and I mean, the amount of superior sound that you're going to get out of the rope tune djembe, it just blows the trouble of this away. I mean, it's so much more worthwhile than a key tune or any other type of drum. All the natural ingredients that go into it and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set up my last knot here. And I'm going to pull it down, but I'm not going to pull it across this time. I'm just going to leave it set up just like that. That way, when I get there next time, I've already got one knot, bang, I'm ready to go. You know, I'm already halfway done tuning. And plus, that way if somebody else ends up having to tune it, it's ready to go. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and tie this off. Again, I've got my pliers in case I need to get a hold of the rope. I might need to loosen it like I just did there. In this case, I'm just going to go ahead and slip this through right here. I'm going to leave a little bit of space there. I'm just going to push the rope right through. I could go about and I could make the handle like it originally was, or I could make a shoulder strap or like a daisy chain. I'm going to go with the strap just because, you know, I mean, maybe I want to carry it over my shoulder or whatever. You know, who knows why. The end result, it's a lot easier to do. So, again, I'm coming through here. I'm just going to leave this loop open right there, just a little bit loose. And I'm going to make another loop over here with the slack rope. And I'm just going to put that loop through the loop. Pull it like that. So you see I got a loop through a loop. And I'm going to do it again. Another loop through another loop. A loop through a loop through a loop. Real simple. And it makes this nice, like, you know, sailor's chain or daisy chain or whatever you want to call it. You know, it's a nice shoulder strap. Also, it kind of contains all this extra rope. It's nice that you do have so much extra tuning rope on our drums. That's one of the things that allows, you know, you to go a really long period of time before you have to reskin or tighten it or string it, is that you have all this slack to work with to keep working the diamonds all the way through. So, you know, your drum will be sounding great for years to come, which is awesome. Okay, so let's just assume that I've gone through all my rope, again for time's sake. If in real life, obviously, I would keep making it until the chain was completely done. So, for this last loop, I'm just going to put the end of the rope right through it, like that. And I'm just going to pull it down tight, and it's going to make me a nice knot right there. And then I'm just going to come up here to the top ring of the drum. I'm just going to slip the end of that rope through right there again. And pull all that slack out. To here. Now I'm just going to tie it off. You know, had we gone all the way, I'd have a nice long shoulder strap right here that I could throw over the shoulder, carry the drum around, you know, whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and tie it off. Alright, and that's it, and you know, that's how you rope tune a djembe using the Mali weave over method. This has been brought to you by Freedom Drums.